Well, how are you doing? Okay, this is going to be hopefully a quick enough video called Total Solar Eclipse Debunks the Globe. Um, so this video is inspired by Rachie and Five Zeros. Shout out to Rachie. She made a video recently about the what we would observe on a globe Earth of the moon phases and how it was wrong. So in communication with her, I remember this that I had. I remember thinking about it a long time ago, and I never made a video about it. So now I'm making a video about it. So let's get stuck into it. Make it short. Okay. Okay. This is what a new moon is claimed to be in heliocentric globe Earth belief. So the sun here, right, has what they're showing parallel rays, which doesn't happen, hitting the backside of the moon, and the observable side of the moon from the globe Earth is darkened. So there was no direct sunlight on the moon, as it's claimed that the sun lights the moon in the heliocentric model. So this means that one side, the observable side of the moon, is dark, and the backside of the moon is lit. Right, this is what this means. So moon phases here. This is showing moon phases. You have a new moon here, right, and they have this black disk, right, showing a new moon, black disk, right. Then we go to this other diagram, and black disk again. Now, these are official diagrams. This one at the top is from time and date. I'm not sure where these others are from, but there's lots of them out there. This is the claim, black disk, okay? So if we go down to here, this is a total solar eclipse, okay? Where you have the sun and its light is being blocked from reaching the Earth, right, by the moon. Now, I don't agree with this diagram as it shows a globe Earth in it, but the basics of it seems to be pretty much correct, where the moon occults the sun. That's what happens. Here is that very thing. So there is the moon occulting the sun. So the sun's light is not reaching us, and the moon showing as a black disk. So I have no hassle with this. This is what happens, right? Why the moon is suddenly a black disk or appears like a dark black disk, I don't know, but that's what it does. But this is basically very much the same as this. The only difference is that the moon's alignment with the sun is slightly different, but it's the same thing, right? So how come this black disk that they're showing here and claiming, right, that we see here, that blocks and occults the sun, and the sun, remember, has a much larger angular size than stars, how come we're not seeing this black disk every month for a day or two a month going across the sky at 12.5 or 13, whatever it is, degrees per day, right, occulting stars? We don't see this. We don't see anything, just gone. So we would, if the moon was a rock, as is claimed in the heliocentrism, then we would see this occulting stars at the end of every month, but we don't. There is zero evidence of anything in the sky at new moon. There is nothing to be seen. One of the explanations I remember hearing before, or saw recently, I think it was, someone said it was earth showing or something. It's like, well, what the hell is that? That's nothing to do with this claim. Dude, where is this black disk that should be in the sky if the moon is a rock? Rocks don't just disappear. So this means that the moon, that this black disk that they're claiming here, that doesn't happen. That does happen during a total solar eclipse, means that the moon is not a rock, as they claim. It can't be, because rocks don't just disappear. You know, so that's the end of that. The moon is not a rock. We don't see this black disk in the sky at the end of every month, or the start, let's say the new moon of every month. We don't see it. Occulting stars doesn't happen. But it gets worse, because here is what they call a total lunar eclipse. But this is not an eclipse. There's not no occulted here. This is what you have here is a darkening of the moon and a different color on it. What has this got to do with occultation? Nothing is occulting the moon. I can see all of the moon. If the moon always looked like this, I wouldn't think it's occulted. It just would always look like that. Occulted is this. This is the moon occulting the sun. The sun is being occulted. It's being hidden. It's being blocked. Nothing is being blocked here. There's changes in our viewing in what we observe, but nothing is being blocked. We can see the whole lot of the moon, just darker and a different color. Looks really nice, actually. Here is the globe heliocentric claim of what causes this. Right, this is from time and date again. So you have the sun hitting the Earth, the globe Earth, right, and the globe Earth blocking the sun's light to the moon, right? But why don't we see a black disk? We should be seeing a black disk then, because it's claimed in heliocentrism that the moon is lit by the sun. So we should see a black disk if the moon is a rock in the sky, which it's not, as was just shown. We should see it, and it's lit by the sun. There's no sunlight going to get to it. So we should see a black disk if it's been supposedly occulted by the globe Earth, and it would be the nighttime side of the globe Earth. You know, you can't, you're seeing this supposedly occulted moon in the nighttime side. It's shown here the nighttime side of the globe Earth. And the sun's light is being occulted. Like the Earth is occulting the sun. Suppose the globe Earth is occulting the heliocentric sun, and it's parallel sun rays, a joke, from reaching the moon. So we should see this if the moon is lit by the sun. But the moon is not a rock, and it's not lit by the sun. I don't know what lights this. Maybe it is in some way. I have no idea. But it's not a rock. I don't know what lights the moon. I have no idea. But I just know it's not a rock, because rocks don't disappear. Rocks would stay as a black disk, like that, a black sphere or disk in the sky occulting stars. But it's not. It's not doing that. It never does that. It has never, ever done that. It will never do that. That's not reality. Doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. Never happened before. It will never happen in the future. And this is not an eclipse. That's not an eclipse. It's not being occulted. This, if it was being occulted, we would see this, with the exception of the light around it here. We wouldn't. That's what we would see. And it's the nighttime, down here, and it's the nighttime side of the globe Earth that's even in this diagram. So, what's lighting it up? New York. What kind of nonsense are they talking about? The moon is not rock in the sky. That's that. The globe Earth has no connection whatsoever to a lunar or a solar eclipse. It has nothing to do with it. Globe Earth doesn't exist. Sun doesn't have parallel rays. The moon is not being occulted by the globe Earth during what they call a total lunar eclipse. It's not being occulted here. I can see all the moon. What are you talking about? The moon is not occulted. If it's lit by the sun, and the globe Earth is supposed to block all the sun's light, then how come I can see it? It's complete and utter nonsense. And where is this black disk in the sky? There should be occulting stars every month. It's not there. There's no such thing. The moon is not a rock. Okay. 1. Okay, total solar eclipse debunks the globe. 1. The total solar eclipse shows that the moon definitely does eclipse the sun. Right? We just saw that. 2. There is no such thing as a lunar eclipse, as the moon is not eclipsed by anything during that event, as there is only a darkening that crosses the moon during that event, but the moon itself is still totally visible. 3. The moon is claimed to be a rock in the sky within the globe model. 4. During the total solar eclipse, there is no direct sunlight on the observable side of the moon. 5. The globe model claims that the phases of the moon are caused by the sun's direct light being either allowed to reach the Earth or being blocked from reaching the Earth by the moon, as in that model the sun is claimed to be lighting the moon. Right? 6. During new moon, when it's claimed that the sun's light is being blocked by the moon, as that is the claim, then if the moon is a rock in the sky, like it is claimed to be in the globe model, then we should see the exact same black disk in the sky at new moon that we see during the total solar eclipse. But we don't see this. As a matter of fact, we don't see anything whatsoever. 7. So this means that the Earth is not a globe and the moon is not a rock in the sky. As if it was, then we would observe it occulting stars during new moon every month without fail. But we don't observe this, and this also means that the claimed moon rock is not occulting the sun's light from reaching anything, and that the darkening that crosses the moon during a claimed lunar eclipse can't be due to a globe Earth either. 8. And remember, this debunks all claimed missions to this moon rock by space agencies. As if the moon was a rock in the sky, it would be occulting stars at new moon, but it's not. 9. This also proves that we have no idea what the sun and moon are, as all claimed globe Earth involvement in what are called solar and lunar eclipses is squarely debunked. So there is no such thing as a lunar eclipse. It doesn't happen. There's no such thing as a lunar eclipse. It doesn't happen because it would be occulted. We would see this, with the exception of this bright light around the back of it. We'd see this black disk that we should be seeing every month at new moon, that we do see during a total solar eclipse. So if the moon can be this black disk that blocks all the light from the biggest light in the sky, which is the sun, then how come we don't see this black disk every month at new moon, and we don't see a black disk during what's claimed to be a lunar eclipse? You know, that doesn't look occulted to me. You can see all of it. It looks exactly the same as all the other photographs, and even the ones I took of the moon, with the exception of it's a different color and slightly darker. So that's the end of that. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.